Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ray Dolan from Mullingar, in the Mullingar, and I'm in a different seat in the bus today. We're on the bus sessions, or we call it the bus sessions, but it's not exactly. Today is the shout-out show. The shout-out show is all about us giving you the shout out, and you give us the shout back. So if you want to shout out, give us a message and send us a shout out. We'll send you a shout out on the shout-out show. I'm in a totally different position today, and it's sort of, it feels a bit strange. But as I say, every day is a different day. And it's always good to do something that scares you. And I've just wound up today totally because of a superstar arriving on the bus very, very soon. And I'm really excited. So it's great that everyone is looking in. A big shout out to you, Sally Taylor, the legend that's in Derry. Great to know that you're on board here. And I'm sort of in a different position. I was standing up and I can't be sort of elevated and all that. But look, let's get on with the shout out show. We have people coming in. People will appear here. So if people appear there, we will be able to talk to them there. Brilliant. And as you can see, this is the back of the bus. We have our special guest going to come in the front of the bus. And if we close that door, do you hear this? Big bang. That's the tour bus closing. Yes, indeed. Our guest is on board. Shh, don't tell anyone. Don't share this with anyone. This is ours. It's all in the bus, okay? So, Bernie, how's it going? Great to know you're with us. Audrey is here. Audrey, where do you think I'm in the bus now? You're usually in the front seat. I'm in the back seat. I'm actually sitting in my father's seat, actually. This is the seat that he uses when he's on tour. And he sits up looking out the window going, oh, yes, left here, right there. And that's my father. He was the driver, but now I'm the driver. So we have to get directions from my father now for many, many years. But anyway, we're only goofing off here as usual, and Mary Cross is just after joining us, and my special guest is pouring the tea. Yes, we have some beautiful cups of tea, and we have some scones as well, especially from the bakery, cooked specially for our special guest. Okay, let's kick it off. Let's kick it off the shout-out show. We have Danny Parker. We missed Danny Parker yesterday. Danny is in the Isle of Wight, and you are very, very welcome on board the shout-out show. And a big, big shout-out, birthday shout-out to Tommy Swarbrick. That's Tommy Swarbrick of the Swarbrick Brother fame and the promoter, and a great guy he is. And yesterday it was his birthday, so happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Tommy. And he got out to play golf yesterday. Happy birthday to you. Yes, there's a bit of a lift up at the moment, and this 5 phases and all that are carrying on. Okay, let's continue with the Dolan Inn in Furty, County Roscommon, and their birthday is today. It's called a birthday or an anniversary, but happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Dolan Inn in Furty, County Roscommon. Happy birthday to you. And the man that owns that, his name is Joe Dolan. Would you believe it? And we got in contact over the social media platform called Facebook. And he contacted me, and it was a bit of a slag. But you know what? He's from Roscommon anyway. I don't know if there's many Dolans down Roscommon, but there's a man called Joe Dolan down Roscommon, and he owns a couple of pubs down there, and one of them is called the Dolan Inn. Right, looking forward to seeing you soon, and yes, let's get them pubs open. Let me see, another birthday shout out to Derek Cleary, and this comes in from his mammy Burr. So a big shout out to you and a happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Derek from your mammy, happy birthday to you. There you are, some birthday greetings. Okay, let's continue with a gentleman who contacted us over the social media platform of Facebook, originally from Patrick Street in Mullingar, and he was born there many, many years ago, and he's about in his 70s now. He's heading up to his 70s, and he got in contact with us on our Facebook page to just to see what Mullingar was like, and you could say he's one of our very important diaspora that's out there. And Sean Breen contacted me yesterday and sent me a message, and he says he was looking for my address. He wants to send a present. Would you believe that? He wants me to send a present to me because we sent him loads of videos of Patrick Street and what's going on in Mullingar, and walking down the streets of Mullingar and showing him how the town is now. And we actually have a video up there of 2019, and on that is just walking down the town as it has been done up, and now it's done up and it looks great. But I'll continue. A big shout out to him because today he's got on a blood test, and he had an injury years and years ago. He fell, and he was a mariner, and he fell on a ship and hurt himself, and he's a lot of steel in him, but he has loads of blood checks now, and he's getting ready for more steel. This man is going to be the Iron Man from Mullingar, living in Melbourne. And one thing he says was a friend of his, through our social media, there was a gentleman called Bill Smith, and Bill Smith lived in Patrick Street, and Bill passed away, and he lived in Spain. And as you know, our diaspora is just huge. But anyway, through the social media platform, his son, who lives in Australia, 2 hours away from our friend Sean Bean, this is Bill Smith's son living in Australia, is going to contact him, and they're going to meet up at his house for a bit of a party and a shindig. And he says, look, Ray, thank you very much for just connecting us all so far away. So look, I thought that was worth sharing, and I think it is worth sharing. And we're putting the word out there for all our friends in our diaspora to, you know, get in contact with each other, because they all chat to each other on this platform as well. And let's move on swiftly. Carl Baker is standing in a queue. Standing in the queue. And she's watching the Shout Out Show. So a big shout out to you, Carl Baker, standing in a queue from the Shout Out Show. Keep her lit, girl. Isn't it great to have the television on your phone? Okay, let me see a shout out to Marika. Marika is in the Czech Republic, and she says hello there. Well, hello to all our friends in the Czech Republic from the Shout Out Show in the bus. And a big birthday to from Margaret to Teresa Murphy. A happy birthday to you. And let me see. Oh, John Macaulay. Check out John Macaulay's page. He's putting up loads of birds and all this and all. There's a big absolute eagle up there, and there's a buzzard flying all over the place. And he's from Mullingar, in Mullingar. But anyway, we're chatting, and just want to say to John, look, John, give us a shout. Come up here and we'll have you as a special guest on the Shout Out Show, and tell us about your fantastic charity that you are, you're quietly doing a fantastic job in Africa. And not, we just go all over the place, lads. Okay, carry on with gusto. I go through this and then I leave out people and I go, jeez, I forgot them. But let's carry on. We have a checkout. Oh yes, CJ Scally is he's a trainer and instructor and all that. But check out his page. He's going to show you good food that's going to give you all this energy. And that's what we need at the moment. We need loads of energy and we need good food. So check out CJ Scally from Mullingar. He is the man who's going to show us what to eat, when to eat, and how to do the exercises. Let's carry on. Yes, a big shout out to Melanie Hughes Fox. And she is absolutely delighted. Now, you've heard of the men's sheds. Well, her husband is building her a woman's shed.
Yay!
Hooray for the women! And yes, she's building a shed, and he's building a shed. The roof is on it. He's after getting the roof from Faulkner Sheds. And thanks a million, Willie. And look, we're looking forward to seeing this shed when it's complete. He's been working on it extremely hard. So once again to Dave, congratulations, and to Melanie for your woman's shed. We're looking forward to having tea in the shed. Okay, I think I've got everyone. Absolutely, yes, we have indeed. So look, we're going to move on to our special guest. She's flown in the whole way from Mullingar, in Mullingar. She is, what can I say about this lady? She has a #1 bestseller. The book is called When All Is Said and Done. She is the winner of the Newcomers of 2019. That's the Irish Book Awards. Her book is available from Mullingar, in Mullingar, but Ireland, UK, USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, among many other fantastic countries that are locked down. And not forgetting, this book has been translated into 17 different languages, and I think it's building, because her husband told me last week it's more than that now. So if you want to get this book, it's available on the Google machine. So if you just put in, the lady's name is Anne Griffin. That's right. And if you look for Anne Griffin, writer, you can get that book. So put it into the Googler, and you can get it on Twitter, you can get it on Facebook, or you can get it on Google, and you can buy the book. All these fantastic things. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the lady in question, Miss Anne Griffin. Yes, we have you. Oh, God, turn around camera. Come on. It's going great here. Yes, we're on. Hello, Anne. How's it going? You're very welcome to the bus.
Thank you, Ray. It's such a brilliant build-up. And I'm loving the bus. This is great. This is just fantastic.
Thank you.
so much for this wonderful reception. I'm very proud to be sitting on the bus, listening to all these wonderful people with their shout-outs. Thinking about Tommy Swarbrick.
Yeah.
Last year when I saw him in the Arts Centre with Blind Boy. Wonderful interview. Absolutely amazing. That was fantastic. And I'm thinking about John and his wonderful charity in Africa and all of the beautiful pictures he does and all the service he gives to the community here, bringing Mullingar to life. So, wonderful, wonderful.
Well, thank you very, very much. Did you get tea?
I did.
Where's my tea?
There. Now, I've poured it there for you.
Okay.
Shall I? Look at this, everybody. Look at the reception I received. This is just amazing. My main character, Maris Hannigan, would love this.
Thank you.
Absolutely
You're
love
serving me
this.
tea on the bus. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, okay.
Wow.
Did you take any of the buns? Or
I haven't yet. No,
Yeah.
I didn't want.
Probably
to
not a good idea
doing
when
a
you're
reading
talking.
With it. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right, because once you're singing, people, you're doing a party and a lad hands you up a whole load of sandwiches. And you go, what do I do with that?
Yeah.
He says, go carry on. But it is very hard to sing eating.
Yeah, same kind of problem. All right.
So, my dear, sorry, I'm the camera. I'm actually looking at these buns. Oh, God. And I just get the milk. So,
yeah.
the book is all said and done.
It's when all is said.
Sorry,
and
I beg your
It
pardon.
does come from that phrase, when all is said and done, and it was in fact the American publisher who came up with this because I had a different long-winded title.
Right.
And both the UK and the American publisher said, oh no, it's a bit long, we have to come up with something else. And they emailed me and said, how about when all is said? And it is absolutely brilliant because it just captures this book in the title. Because this is the story of 84-year-old Maurice Hannigan, who's an Irish farmer. He sits to the bar of his local hotel in County Meath one very important night of his life. And he is there to drink 5 toasts to the 5 most important people in his life. And so over the course of these 5 toasts and these 5 drinks, we learn just who Maurice Hannigan is, his highs, his lows, his ups and downs. We realise that this is quite a cantankerous man, a man with a lot of secrets, a lot of regrets. But I hope people find him lovable and charming. And luckily, lots of people who've bought the book have said that they love him. So I'm just delighted with that. So yeah, it's gone all around the world, and yeah, pretty much you can get it anywhere, and it's great. It's wonderful.
Tell us, how did you get involved in your book? How did this book evolve?
About.
Yeah.
Well, I started writing back in 2013 when I was 44, so I was very late to writing, and I was searching around looking for the idea for a book. And myself and my husband James and our son were on holidays in Mayo on the lovely Greenway from Westport out to Achill Island, and we happened into the bar of a hotel in Newport, and there was a man at the bar, the only man in the place actually. There was no one else, not even a woman, and he had a pint in his hand, and of course as soon as he saw us walking in, he was straight over for the chat. And as you know, my husband James is a great man for the chat, and so there was a conversation kind of going on between us, and he said 2 things in the course of that conversation that set me on this fantastic journey. He said, the first thing he said was, I used to work here when I was a boy. Now this man was in his 70s at least. And I was just taken in my head at this about like the circle of life, and here was this man still here, or had he just returned? So the writer in me was just loving this, figuring out a story for this man. And then he said to me just before he left us, because another couple came into the bar, he said, but you know, I'm not going to see the morning. And off he went. Without me being able to pull him back and say, pardon? Did you just say that? So that was it. The next day, we were cycling on to Achill Island, and it was a really, really bad rainy day. So bad that actually we just decided that our son at the time was very young, that he wouldn't be able to cycle us. So I went off on the bike on my own after an argument in the Mulranny Park hotel, where me and James argued who was going to cycle the one rented bike that we had to get back to Achill Island. Our bikes could go in the car, but anyway, I won the argument, and I got to cycle because I wanted to be on my own with this man's words.
Right.
And so there I was, the rain coming lashing in on me, only cyclist on the Greenway that day, and this story came to me.
Wow.
About a man raising toasts to the most important people in his life, and through that we're learning who he is and what's about to happen at the end of the night. And
Brilliant.
that's where it came from. So an MA in UCD in creative writing later, and I had the draft of this book that went out.
What do you mean an MA? Did you go to college after this trip on the bike?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Because I used to work in the book world in my 20s, so I know a few writer friends. And, you know, one of them said to me, look, if you really want to do this, an MA is a really good idea. Like, it's not, you know, everybody who's a writer hasn't necessarily done an MA. But if you like learning, if you want to learn more, this is possibly a good idea. So
the MA gives you a sort of a channel to say, this is how you do it, this is how you put together, this is how you...
Yeah.
And how long did it take the MA? A few months?
It was a year.
Right.
It's a year. Now, there are different MA. Ireland is full of fantastic MAs at the minute, I have to say. If people are really into writing, there's loads of them. And there's even like short courses. They're not necessarily MAs. The rise of creative writing has been very exciting in the last couple of years in Ireland. And I guarantee you there's a writing group somewhere in your locality. You don't have to have an MA. I found 12 great writing colleagues in my MA. But you find them anywhere. You find them in your local library. Guarantee it. Check out your local library, see if there's a writing group somewhere in the town, because it's a wonderful thing. Writing is a wonderful thing. It's like you know, it's like anything. It's like knitting. It's like any craft or that you can sit with somebody else and enjoy and learn from them. Because one of the things you need people who'll be honest with you and say, yeah, you know, I wonder what you're trying to do there. I'm not sure that, you know, might you think about doing something else.
You can't ask James the whole time.
No, exactly. Oh, he's wonderful, but dear God, you know, he's supposed to say it's wonderful. So you need an honest voice. You need
exactly,
you need people who you can trust who'll say, I don't quite get what you're trying to do there.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose an MA, and it was a great year. If you're really into it, as I say, there are some fantastic MAs out there in Limerick, in Cork, in Galway, in Sligo now, in Belfast, and all over the world.
Tell us, where did this book bring you? Like, so you started off in Mullingar and you had the launch, and we were at the launch, and it was great. There was a great buzz on, and wonderful. She took
I mean, it went to number one immediately in Ireland as soon as it came out, and it was there for 5 weeks. And then it came out in the States, and then it came out in France. It's come out in Germany. Tomorrow it's coming out in Italy. It's in Australia, New Zealand. It's pretty much everywhere. So it really just took off.
And did you follow the book around? Like, do I have to go to Italy? I have to go to have to.
I should be in Italy right now.
Oh, shocking.
I should have been in America for the launch of the paperback about a month ago. I should be in Croatia in about a week's time.
So you followed this book every county. I was going to say every country.
It depends.
Yeah.
If the publisher invites you, or if a festival from that particular country, a literary festival, is looking to do a piece, say, on a debut author, a foreign debut author, you might get invited. So yeah, I had about 3 or 4 places I was to be going. I have a place that I'm supposed to be going at the end of July, but I think that'll get.
Well, the thing about it is, everyone has stopped.
Everyone
it's not a case,
stopped. And it's wonderful. Yeah. So it's all gone virtual. So, for example, I was doing, as I was telling you earlier, a midnight festival in the States. It was 4:00 in the afternoon for them, but I was on at midnight. So I was sitting in my sitting room at midnight a couple of weeks back, and I go to sleep around 10:30 or 11. So this was a real push for me.
You had to stay awake as well.
Stay awake.
Yeah.
So I was buzzing because I had a few coffees.
Yeah.
You know, and I did have my whiskey, which is significant for this book, by the way. To have a whiskey sitting beside you. So I was.
But you're waiting 2 hours. The bottle gets very low.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you do. So everything has gone virtual, and it's great. It's wonderful that you can still keep connecting with people and still keep spreading the word about it. You know?
And tell me, have you started another book, or is there another book on the way?
There is. I'm working on it currently. I would hope to be nearing the end of it very soon. The feedback from the UK editor has been good, so I'm just in corrections and trying to really hone it and make it sharper and deeper. And
the other thing, you're living in Mullingar, how long?
We are here, I always go by my son's age, we're here 16 years.
16 years, wow. And it was that quick 16 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're originally from Dublin?
I'm Dublin.
Yeah.
And we were actually living over in Mayo for a couple of years, but we came back this neck of the woods because it was just we didn't want to move back to the city. James is from Navan, so it was kind of equidistant between both families.
Come here, Mary Cross, I have to say, and your tea is getting cold.
Oh, the tea is getting cold. It's terrible. All this chatting.
Look, it's not about the tea anyway. It's about the book. The book is When All Is Said and Done.
When all is said.
Tell us, will you read a little bit for us?
I will. If you have 3 minutes out there, people.
Yeah, have you 3 minutes? Mary, have you 3 minutes? Anyone out there, have you 3 minutes? Just give us a thumbs up.
Get your cup of tea now.
Yeah, well, they probably have their tea on.
Sit down comfortably, or if you're in that queue, I don't know.
Yeah, people are everywhere now on their phones.
Okay, glass is going on.
Yeah, I need them as well. They're very important.
Just to let you know that the little piece I'm going to read from is from the toast that Morris raises to his son Kevin.
Okay.
Okay. When you were small, no more than 4, I came in late one evening. The kitchen was empty, spick and span as it always was straight after the dinner. I knew Sadie would have been elbow deep in soapy water, scrubbing the kitchen back to order not an hour before. My place lay set at the table. And as I lifted the saucepan lid off my dinner and stuck it in the aga, I could hear voices from down the hall. I sat to the Meath Chronicle, perusing the market news. But try as I might not to let it, the laughter got the better of me, and in the end I left the paper down and headed in your direction. The bathroom door was open, and as I passed I could see the bath still quarter full, with a couple of surviving suds and a yellow duck floating among them. I held back in the hallway, peering in at the pair of you next door in your bedroom. Kevin, I love you. Your mummy loves you, Sadie said, marking every word with a kiss to your tummy as you lay on the ground being dried. She loves every bone of you. Do you know that? Mm-hmm, you replied, happily watching puffs of white rise from the Johnson's baby powder container every time you pressed its middle. And does Kevin love Kevin? Puff upon puff of whiteness filled the air. Does Kevin love Kevin? I repeated in my head. You didn't reply. Instead, you turned the talcum powder upside down, shaking it vigorously onto your tummy and the floor. Because if you love this wee boy, she continued, dispersing the powder all over you, and you're always kind to him and always try to understand him, then I think he will be the happiest little man in the whole wide world. She used the corner of the bath towel to rub the white smatterings from the carpet. Will you do that? Will you love Kevin for me, you rascal? She asked, administering another tickle that let loose more squeals of laughter. I never disturbed you, but made my way into our darkened bedroom and sat on the side of the bed, looking out at the silhouette of our trees and the hills against the night sky, brightened by one of the biggest moons I'd ever seen. It was too much, even for me, a man of 43, to try to comprehend what Sadie had said, let alone a child of 4. Loving yourself, the very thought. I reached for the bedside lamp, fumbling to find the switch under the shade. I pulled the curtains closed and stood looking at the brown flowers with their orange centres, one after another, row upon row. My finger rose to follow the pattern of the petals, a blackened nail and layers of hardened skin that had no hope of feeling the fibres circled anyway. Oh, you're home, Sadie said from the door behind me. I thought I'd change out of these, I said, my fingers pulling away from the flowers, pretending at taking off my jumper. A first for everything, I suppose. I left the dinner for you. I saw that. This man's off to bed. Her head nodded in the direction of your room. Are you coming in to say good night? I'll be in now. How many times did Sadie talk to you that way, I wonder? And is that why you are the man you are, so sure and happy in your life?
Oh, that is super duper.
Thank you.
Look, there is the book, folks. When all is said and done, there's the tea, and eventually we'll get back to it. Look, as I said, thank you very much for coming in and chatting to us on our social media platform and doing something totally different as well. As I said, this bus has sort of created its own life.
It's brilliant.
I don't know whether the engine will keep going, but the body is very, very good inside and the conditions are very good. You could actually sleep in it. But look, thank you very much. Folks, if you want to check out this book, how can we get the book? If you said, like, what's the best way if you go?
Well, you can get it on ebook, you can get it on audio. It's read by the wonderful Niall Buggy. And it's available in bookshops. You can get it online, or you can ring up your local bookshop. Stella, for example, in Just Books there in Mullingar, is on the phone. She'll drop you up a book.
Yeah.
Eason's is back open. Book station.
Right, yeah.
You know, they're all any kind of stationers that also sell books are back open. So for the rest of the world, it's there online. Or please check out your independent bookstore, because we want to support the little businesses as well.
So there you are, guys. Once again, this is Ray Dolan from Mullingar in Mullingar. Keep saying that. But actually, this is called a shout out show. Sometimes I have no idea who I am or where I am or what I'm at. But we keep going, mistakes and all. Thank you very much for looking in. The shout out show, we hope to see us maybe at 5 o'clock. We're going to sing, and maybe tomorrow we'll do the same thing again. We have a special guest as well tomorrow. So tell your friends, share this with everyone, and check out the cake.
Which we're now going to eat.
Bye.